We are now in the month of December, and it is getting closer and closer to the new year, so I feel like it is time to officially give you that list. You know that list. It's that list of my favorite gear for 2021. I want to show you guys the stuff that I was using all year long that has become my favorite gear. And so without further ado, let's talk about it. If you've watched more than a couple videos on this channel over the last few years, or you've listened to the Backpacking Podcast, you know there is a piece of gear that I tried to get my hands on for a long time, and that is what I'm wearing right now, and that is my Appalachian Gear Alpaca Hoodie. Full disclaimer, this hoodie is not cheap, and I will put a link for this below, but when you find the price at $150, don't freak out. That is the price, and I'm not an affiliate for Appalachian Gear Company, so this is not a money-making scheme by any stretch. I just genuinely love this hoodie. It's maybe the most comfortable piece of gear that I have. I love it as a mid-layer. One of the things I love is when it's cool outside, it lets the air through it. If there's a breeze coming and it's warm, you can still wear this outside, but when it gets cold and you put a hard shell over top of it, it works as an insulating layer, and it's fantastic at what it does. Now, like I said, it is a hoodie, and it is one of the most comfortable hoodies you're ever going to wear. It's not super form-fitting, it is a little loose-fitting, but it is really comfortable, and I probably wear this thing at least a couple times a week because I like it so much. The best feature about this hoodie is the fact that it's antimicrobial. In other words, it takes a lot to get it to stink. I have yet to have this thing smell bad, which is unbelievable. I'm telling you, totally worth it. If you don't have one, you don't want to spend the money, that's okay, but if you're down with spending 150 bones on a killer hoodie, this might be the hoodie for you. The next piece of gear we're going to talk about is also a hoodie, but this one is a base layer hoodie, and that is my Echo hoodie from Outdoor Research. I got this last spring, and I've been wearing it on pretty much every trip. It's incredible, even in hot weather. It's a long-sleeved hoodie, but it's comfortable in warmer temperatures because of the way it breathes. It also wicks up sweat really well, dries quickly. It's super comfortable. I can't say enough good things about this hoodie. I've talked about this in past videos, so I'm not going to go into a lengthy review about it. So definitely check out the Outdoor Research Echo hoodie and the next piece of gear on my list, the Outdoor Research Feroci pants. For the longest time, I only wore pants in the fall and winter months and maybe early spring, but really a lot of the time I would hike in shorts. Well, this past year, I went up to Michigan, to the UP, to Pictured Rocks, and had an amazing hiking trip with a lot of really cool people, put together by my good friend Miyagi on the trail, and I decided during that trip I would get these pants and try them out. And just like with the hoodie, these have been on almost every single trip I've been on. The only time I haven't worn these were in the super hot summer trips that I took here in Kentucky in the Red River Gorge and the Big South Fork, when temperatures would get into the upper 80s, low 90s, and never got really below 75 at night. These pants, though, even in warmer weather, maybe not that warm, but even in warmer weather, these things were really comfortable. They wick sweat, they dry quickly. They're made like with 86% nylon and 14% elastane, I think is what it's called, but it gives them kind of a stretchy feel to them. Definitely a pair of pants worth checking out. Again, I've done a review on these before and I've talked about them in a past video, so I'm not going to go super in depth about these, but what I can say is that these pants have been a huge piece of gear for me for the year 2021. Any backpacker is going to tell you, when it comes to gear, you always want gear that is versatile, that can be used in a multitude of different situations, different temperature ratings, different weather conditions. And so for me, one of the pieces of gear that has really been an amazing piece of gear for me is my 40-degree underquilt from UGQ. I actually got this back in 2020. Didn't get to use it quite as much as I did this past year, but this thing, all I can say is this is almost 4 seasons in Kentucky. It is really close to a 4-season underquilt. And the reason I say that is because I've used this underquilt in temperatures up to 75, 80 degrees at night and I've used it down to temperatures in the upper 20s. It's a 40-degree quilt. I've used it in the upper 20s, and I didn't get the slightest bit cold. It's made with an 850 fill down. It's just an unbelievably well-built underquilt. One of the great things about this is that UGQ doesn't make their quilts survival rated, they make them comfort rated. That means you are guaranteed that this quilt is going to keep you warm to at least 40 degrees, if not further on. They like to pride themselves in actually reaching beyond their comfort rating. About a year and a half ago, I got to go down to Grayson Highlands and do some backpacking down there. Temperatures got into the low 30s, and I remember worrying that maybe this quilt wasn't going to be good enough. And I can promise you, I didn't want to get out of this quilt in the morning because it was so toasty warm. UGQ does an amazing job of really nailing it on their underquilts and their top quilts. I now have a 0-degree top and a 0-degree underquilt for winter trips. Got to use those in Pennsylvania, and I can tell you, they did not fail me on that trip either. So definitely, if you've never checked out UGQ before, I've talked about them on this channel, but if you've never checked them out at UGQOutdoor.com. Great company, cottage company out of Michigan, and they do a fantastic job building really high quality quilts. Now, some of those pieces of gear that I've shared with you so far, they are more expensive pieces of gear, but this one isn't. That is my Yuko Spork. Since I've started backpacking with guys like Backpacking with Jason's Jason Waugh and Jeremiah Stringer from Jeremiah Stringer Hikes, and also just recently on a trip to Pennsylvania with Jay and John from 80K Woodswalker, I've just started eating more real food when I'm on trail. And when I'm eating real food, a long-handled spork or a long-handled spoon is not going to help you eat a piece of steak. And so I decided to get myself something that had a real fork and a real spoon on it. And that's when I found this little guy right here over at my local Walmart. This thing only costs about $10. You get an actual fork, you get an actual spoon. It's made out of titanium, it's super lightweight, it gets the job done, and for me, this has been a big one for me. I really like this a lot. I know it's not a huge gear piece, it's not like trail runners or a backpack or anything like that, but food is a huge part of being on trail, and this thing right here has been a big part of my trips all year long, and I don't see myself changing this anytime soon. Now, as I said earlier in the video, I am not an App Gear affiliate, which means I don't have affiliate links for this, but for some of this other gear, I actually do have affiliate links below. If you click on those, it's not going to cost you a penny to order anything that's on there, but if you do decide you want to get something and use those links, it does help support the channel so that we can do more videos like this one and share more gear reviews and just more exciting content. So exciting. Aren't you excited right now? I know I'm excited right now. The next piece of gear on this list is this guy right here. This is the Chicken Tramper UL45 ultralight backpack. I got this backpack in January. It was a gift from Chicken Tramper, and when I first saw it, I thought, it's all right, it's okay. But functionally, this may be one of the best backpacks I've ever used. It ranks right up there with my ULA Ohm 2.0. Just some really cool features on this that I really like. I'm not going to hit all of them because I've talked about this in other videos, but the huge pocket in the back that just sticks out so far. I mean, it just sticks out so far. You can put so many things in this. You've also got this area right down here where you can attach a sleeping pad or a chair, which I really appreciate that. Strong, plush shoulder straps, and a nice, comfortable waist belt. Everything about this pack is just fantastic. If you'd like to find out more about it, you can go to chickentramper.com and check this pack out. I'll put a link below for that so you guys can check that out. I also have a little bit of a discount for you if you use the link that I put at the bottom. There's a little code down there you guys can use that will help you get this at a little bit cheaper price. I will warn you though, these have become insanely popular over the last year, and because of that, there is a waiting list for these. The wait time is pretty significant, so if you're wanting to get one of these for spring backpacking, you want to get on it as soon as possible. Another piece of gear that has just become a huge favorite of mine is the Chicken Tramper fanny pack. Now, let me just start this off by saying I was like anti-fanny pack for the longest time. I just thought they were kind of dorky. All I could think of when I was thinking of fanny packs were those guys from the 80s and 90s wearing Zubas, super jacked up dudes with those big old baggy pants on and one of these fanny packs. It's very practical, but it's kind of goofy. And so I've always kind of had that stigma about these, but after finally getting one of these out on trail, I'm still not carrying one with me daily, but when I'm backpacking, this huge pocket is just awesome. You get in here and you've got this massive pocket, as you can see here, just absolutely huge on the inside. You've also got these elastic pockets as well on either side. It allows you to put some of your larger items in the front. You can put some snacks, maybe a camera battery or something in the pouches behind it. And I've had this thing in downpour rain and it has done a phenomenal job. The pack got really wet, but everything inside stayed pretty dry, which made me very happy. I also really like the connecting system they've got for these. You've got these connectors that you can attach to your hip belt on your backpack. It doesn't have to be a chicken tramper backpack to do it. I've hooked it up to my Waymark backpack, my ULA backpack, and it's done a great job. If you're interested at all, check that out on chickentramper.com. Clean water is everything on the trail. If you don't have good clean water, it can absolutely torpedo a trip, and you don't want that. You don't want a torpedoed trip because torpedoes blow things up. That means it's blowing up your trip. Do you want a blown up trip? I don't think you want a blown up trip. Blown up trips are bad. Since good clean water is so important for any backpacking trip, the last item on this list for me is the Grail water purifier. Now understand, there is a difference between a water purifier and a water filter. I got a lot of comments on the last video that I talked about this in. People saying it's just a water filter, it's just a water filter, but it's not. And I'm not gonna go into great length and details about it, but if you'll go check out their website and read into these, they kill things that a Sawyer Squeeze doesn't. These kill things that a Be-Free doesn't. And so I'm really stoked about what this has done for the drinking water that I have, not only on trail, but when I go anywhere. I really like this. It's an easy way to filter your water out in the backcountry. So definitely check these out. Great way to get clean water when you're on the trail. And with that said, what gear are you guys using out on the trail right now that is the stuff? That is the piece of gear that you love using when you get out into the backcountry. Leave those in the comments below. I would love to hear what your favorite gear from 2021 was. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you find out anytime one of these videos drops. Give a big old thumbs up to the video so that YouTube knows that this is a video worth watching and sends it out so other people can see it. And with that said, thanks for watching, stay strong, hike long, and I will catch you on the next go around.